Hey, welcome back to the channel. So for those of you guys who have watched my reaction and speculation video part 2, you might understand why I redo this whole speculation thingy. So apparently I forgot to turn off my a robot voice changer, and I didn't realize it was active the whole time I've been recording my reaction and speculation, and I uploaded the video straight away into YouTube without even checking at all, and I just leave it there. luckily, someone told me there was something wrong with the video. I actually, when I actually heard my own voice in the video, I'm laughing my ass off. Oh my god, I'm crying when I saw the video. I'm crying. So here we are. We're going to do the proper one right now. Okay, and I found out that it's much easier to read the change log on the browser instead of the in-game browser. So this is going to be much better than the previous video. So let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Minus the laughing. Oh my god, I still can't believe my blunder. Oh my god. Okay. So here we are. We just got the new patch lock here for the new espers. So the Fatum sisters, are a support esper skill in defense. So her first skill is a hard beam attacks. Is attacks an enemy and reduces their AP. Is standard, normal. And then the second skill, Sparkling Stage, heals all allies and grants them speed up while also dispelling one debuff from an ally. So this second skill is similar to Celine's skill. So this is like the legendary version of Celine, the Fatum sisters. So after Ascension, it also grants invincibility to the ally. Okay, the thing is that this invincibility, if their grammar is correct, like the heal says it heals all allies, and then the speed up also grants them speed up. So that means these two are AoE, but the dispelling of one debuff is from an ally. So there's a probability that this is only for like one ally instead of like AoE, but that will be like very underwhelming for a legendary esper to only remove one debuff from just a single ally. So there might be a typo here, but if not, then it's only dispelling one debuff from an ally. But if there's a typo here, there also might be a typo in here, because it says it grants invincibility to the ally, which is also a singular here. So we don't know whether this is correct or not. So if this debuff dispel is AoE, that means there's also a possibility that this invincibility is also AoE. So this part here is the upgraded version of Celine, not upgraded version, but a different version of Celine, because Celine gives defense up, speed up, and dispel one debuff from every single allies, whereas in here it heals all allies instead of defense up. So after Ascension, she becomes the upgraded version of either Yeshua or Nicole, depending on whether this invincibility is AoE or not. If this invincibility is AoE, she is going to be a really good esper, and it's almost gonna be a must pull, because Nicole by herself right now is actually really good. The thing is that she lacks the immunity and the ability to heal allies. So she is just going to be like a punching bag, and also because invincibility only lasts for one turn, it's really hard to time Nicole's skills to get the most benefit out of it. Because if Nicole used her skill before any allies move, and her allies moves before the enemy hit them, then the invincibility is going to be useless, because it will be gone by the time the enemy moves. So that's why it's really hard. Currently, it's really hard to use Nicole in practical battle. But if The Fatum sisters also grants the invincibility to all allies, just like Nicole. Then she might have a better value because her other skills are still useful, even if the invincibility ends up at the wrong timing at the wrong time. So we will see. We will see if this is going to be single target or is this going to be like AoE. If this is going to be a single target, then this is going to be like similar to like Yasuo or Fabrice. Like Fabrice also gives immunity to every single allies, but he can target one ally to get that one invincibility just for one ally. So we don't know which one is this, but the invincibility part here, actually, I already predicted this in my previous video about the Fatum sisters. I mentioned that in my prediction video that the Fatum sisters, because she will be a support and she will be going to have something to do with buffs, and I predict that the Intisar is going to have something to do with debuffs. So the only buff that is missing, I mentioned in the speculation video, is invincibility and immunity, because Abigail already have everything else except for this one. So that's why this part I got it right, even though now we have problem whether this is going to be AoE or a single target. So yeah, my speculation next is going to be if this invincibility is AoE, then her value just goes up by a lot. So the third skill, Trio of Destiny, attacks all enemies multiple times with each hit reducing their AP. If an enemy's speed is lower than with Fatum Sisters, it further reduces the enemy's AP. It also grants defense up to all allies. So apparently in my reaction video, the first part, I was wrong that this skill being the second skill. Apparently this is right, this is the third skill because there are so many things happening. And also the AP up that we saw in the sneak peek on her skill, I think it's not actually an AP up. It's because probably the developer used like some kind of a training ground where the dummy target doesn't have any speed at all. So Fatum Sisters actually move again right after she uses her skill just for the purpose of recording the skill preview. We can see from the damage from that video, they only deal like 1 damage, which is almost impossible if they doesn't use a training dummy target and uses a real target instead. Like 1 damage is almost impossible. Even if you are level 1, it's going to be impossible to get like one damage to deal 1 damage to your enemy. So here it is. The third skill attacks enemies multiple times. So this means that if you give the Tyranny of Zeus relic to Fatum Sisters, she is going to be able to stun with her third skills. So she can reduce enemies AP while stunning them. So this is a really good skill here. So with each hit reducing their AP, and we already calculated this in our reaction video, the first part, that the lowest amount of AP that can be reduced is 5%. So per hit 5% means that total the lowest amount that the first part here can reduce is 15% in total, because it deals it attacks 3 times. So 15% on the first part, and if the enemy's speed is lower than the Fatum Sisters, it further reduces the enemy's AP. So if this also reduce the enemy's AP by 5% per hit, that means this is also going to be another 15%. So the first 15%, the second 15%, that means she will reduce the enemy's AP by 30%, which is correct because every single other experts who can do AP manipulation also reduce the enemy's AP by 30%. So if this is any higher, so let's say take example like if it is any higher, so higher than 5% is going to be 10%. So if each hit reduce enemy's AP by 10%, that means this is going to be 30%, the first part. The second part, even if the second part is only 5% increase, it it reduced the enemy's AP by 15%, and thus this is 30% and 15%. In total, she will reduce the enemy's AP by 45%. So it's already higher than every other espers that we have currently. So she is going to be the strongest AP manipulation in the game if this is really happening, if the number is really goes as planned. So we will see. We don't know the number yet, but we already know the lowest amount she can do is already the same as every other esper. So if this is any higher just by a little bit, then her value is going to also increase further in here. So if this is like higher than the other espers, and also the invincibility is 2 turns, I mean AoE, the invincibility is AoE, that means she is guaranteed to be a must pull for in my opinion. Like I myself is going to be like trying to get her, but we will see first the number. We will wait until the number comes out to determine whether she is OP or not. But she is definitely really going to be really strong in Infinite Tower and Temporal Tower, because you have seen that we need a lot of controller while doing our Temporal Tower and Infinite Tower. So her being the combination of 3 espers here, which is Eira, Celine, and either Nicole or Suwa in one esper, she is going to be a really strong controller, because just like Abigail, the strength in Abigail is because she combines 3 esper, which is who was that? Fabrice, Benny, and Lauren. So Abigail is really strong because he combines Fabrice, Benny, and Lauren in a single esper. So you can use the other slots to bring any other espers. That's her strength, being like all in one package. So Fatum Sister is going to be similar to Abigail in a sense that she is going to be the controller while Abigail is the support. The support part here is kind of a little bit misleading. Although half of her skill is actually supporting, that's right, but the other part is actually controlling the enemy team. And also, if an enemy speed is lower than the Fatum Sisters, which means that you want to stack as much speed as possible in this esper, similar to how you play Abigail. So when you play Abigail, like a lot of players give Abigail the highest speed possible because she can just call the other espers and decide which one you want. Like you want to just nuke the enemy, just call Gaius straight away and he can just nuke the enemy down. Or you want to call out like Nicole, or maybe you want to call up Eiras or some other espers. That means that all of her other teammates can just have 0 speed, while Abigail being the one who call every single esper to move. And thus, the Fatum Sisters here have this exact same playstyle as Abigail. She will be the one who gets like to move first, or maybe second after Dahlia. It's up to you. So if she is going to be like really fast and move first, and thus reducing the enemy AP and keep repeating that until the enemy cannot move at all. So she's going to be a really strong controller / support in this sense. So yeah, Abigail, quite strong, but we need to wait until the number comes out, the actual number comes out, to determine whether it's just super strong or this is overpowered. Next, we're gonna go to Daylon. So Daylon is a 4-star Inferno support, which is who excels at the offensive attacks. So, like I said in the first part, like he's going to perform similar to Ashley, that support enemies by hitting, support allies by hitting the enemies. So first skill is Fire Slash, attacks one enemy and inflicts bleed. This is quite good because we rarely see espers who can inflict bleed as a debuff. So having another Esper that can inflict bleed really gives value to the Enchanter Relic that you currently have. Now you can use your Enchanter Relic to Daylon instead of like dusting in your relic bag. So the second skill is double slash, inflict stun and defense down. This is good to have, but not that OP. So as expected from a 4-star Esper. So stun and defense down, good to have, but not that game breaking. So the third skill is Hydro Inferno combo. Inflicts disease on the target. After Ascension, this ability has a chance to dispel all enemies' buffs and debuffs. So this third skill is really good because ever since JJ came out, every single Esper, almost every single Esper that comes after JJ have something to do with these spells. This is because JJ is being used by the developer as a mean to put a scary looking boss into the PvE section. JJ become a really good excuse for putting like a strong roadblock for players to get stuck into. So having a lot of options on how to deal with JJ is a really good move here. Having a lot of dispel options, and Daylon is one of them. Like if you don't have any other dispeller, this is your chance to get your dispeller to go against JJ. The reason is because JJ is if the developer put it in a PvE situation, JJ is most of the time becomes the boss, and being the boss, he cannot be controlled other than AP reduction. So the Fatum sisters can control JJ, while Daylon is going to dispel the standoff from JJ, because that's the only way you can kill JJ. Although there's another way to kill him is to increase his cooldown from his passive, which I already also have another video of my Nick performance in Temporal Tower 45. So yeah, this is your other option. The thing is that interests me here is that this skill also removes the enemy debuffs. I don't know what's the purpose of removing the enemy debuffs here, but there are two possibilities here. The first one is that it's going to have something to do in the future, that removing the enemy debuffs actually going to benefit the player. That's one possibility. So maybe there's going to be like a new Sentinel boss or another like the Shade Mother maybe requires some debuffs removal or something. We don't know yet. Or maybe the second guess from me is that the developer put this here is to not make Daylon OP, because they're going to have to put some kind of disadvantage to Daylon to make him equal to the other 4-star Espers. So not to make him stronger than any other Esper, they put a disadvantage in his third skill by removing your debuffs when he dispels the enemy's buffs. So it's either that, or we're going to see some interesting content in the future. We will see. So source can be drawn from the championship. This is the most important part. So he is not going to be in the gold record player or even in the super senses. Yeah, definitely not going to be super senses. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. So he can only be drawn from the championship. So we can see here that the championship is actually here. The championship grants Echo Ripples for the new Esper, Sobek, Daylon. Sobek Ripples can be acquired from personal point rewards and group ranking rewards in the championship event. We already saw this in the video on the first part. We saw the text of group ranking rewards, and I speculate that there are two possibilities here. Either you go into your bracket level, just like when you do the Sentinel fight, or you can do this as a group. We don't know yet. And the personal point rewards here is just your personal milestones where you can get your own reward here. So players can acquire this Esper from Echo Point with 40 ripples. And we don't know how many ripples we get from each win, so we will see later. With each last thing, challenge story says, accumulate points, higher star rating, rally enhancement, accumulate points to win reward, yeah, you can all read this, and this is just like standard details on what are going to be in the event. So during the event, players can beat other players in the point war to accumulate points for a grand prize. Member of an equal or higher tier grants more points than that of a lower tier, but failed challenge won't grant any points. At the end of the sub-event, the group leaderboard and world leaderboard will be locked. These players can enter the sub-event if screen to claim the ranking rewards. So yeah, we still don't know yet how the group ranking is going to be. So we will see later. This is going to be interesting. And then the next part is here, new features. Aurelius can be acquired from Echo. It's nice, although Aurelius is underperforming compared to the other Espers, but he still have some uses here. Which is a controller. He's not much of a damage dealer, but he is quite okay as a controller if you guys are really digging into that frozen units. So added new portraits in the following Esper's album. The Esper name card can already acquired. Added solos and there's the Fatum sisters and the Elon. So decoration. So now we can decorate our screen and also the Union Esper Tower. And also there is something here with the, where is it? The disc boom. Yeah, apparently when I did my reaction video on the first part, this boom is only for a skin for us to use as the decoration, but I still want to like believe that this boom will be playable for the developer to be like a testing character, which is what usually people do when they design game long time ago, like the GM having their own character. So having this boom as a character, playable character for only the developer is something that differentiates the gamers with the players with the developers, and they probably can interact with us someday within the in-game content. Who knows? Yeah. So Sentinel Hunt was difficulty adjustment. So yeah, this is the next part that I explained also in the robot video. So Sentinel Hunt was difficulty adjustment. After this update, players who have reached squad level 60 will experience a minor increase in the difficulty of Sentinel Hunt. So I don't know what they mean by exactly saying level 60 here, because if they increase the difficulty of Sentinel Hunt, that means every single player will experience the difference, not only just for those under level 60. So maybe for us, it's going to be like a minor difference, but for those who are under level 60, who are not yet ready to face the Sentinel Hunt, will feel that the increase is much more than compared to us who are already at the end game content. So that's maybe what they meant. But Sentinel Hunt being increased in difficulty is really interesting for me, because I do enjoy playing in the Sentinel Hunt. I always try a better way every time, like every 2 days, to increase my score in the Sentinel Hunt while still maintaining my current Esper level. So I don't just level up my Espers to level 60. I actually choose carefully which one will go to level 60 and which one will stay at level 50, because the Starimon is still valuable for me. I cannot just level up every single one to level 60 yet. I do prioritize the Espers that I need first. So in this case, it's mostly DPS instead of the support Esper. So by trying out different approach every single day, it gives me something to enjoy playing the game, like something to look forward to every 2 days. to try different Esper combination in the Sentinel hunt. So increasing the Sentinel hunt difficulty is really going to make me having more fun in the Sentinel hunt content. So next is point where tier 16 to tier 18 optimization. So they're just optimizing on how the point war calculation for the tier is being calculated in here. And then the next part, the most important one is here. In the echo result screen, players can tap an Esper's Ascension ability to preview the ability description. So this is huge because until now, if you want to see like how good the new Esper is going to be, there is one missing information that you cannot get, which is the Ascension ability, the one thing that differentiates between which one is faster in terms of speed or which one goes into the defense category or the health category. Everything depends on the Esper's Ascension, because if you see the Esper's Ascension, you can actually guess on how the Esper role is going to be. Like if you see like the Esper have like critical damage as their last Ascension ability, you can be pretty sure that he will be, or he or she will deal a lot of damage against the elements that is weak against them. And if you see that the Esper have HP percentage increase as their last Ascension ability, that means this Esper have a lot of things to do, and you can focus his substats mostly on the HP. And if you see defense, then you can focus more on the defense for that Esper. So the Ascension ability is something that can help us predict on what build we are going to use for this particular Esper. And also for the speed department, it also determines which one is faster. Like for example, when Odette first came out, she actually have the highest base speed compared to every single other Esper, which is 107 speed. But because her Ascension ability only gives her +5 speed, that makes her equal to Dahlia, because Dahlia, even though she only have 102 speed, which is already got shadow nerf, don't tell anyone, because previously Dahlia have 103 speed, and she got shadow nerf and nobody even noticed that, and got nerfed down to 102 speed. So 102 speed, but because she has Ascension ability that increase her speed by +10, that makes her equal in terms of speed with Odette. But but still, like if they have the exact same speed, Odette will move first instead of Dahlia, because if two Espers have the exact same speed, the system will calculate their base default speed first. So Odette, having the 107 base default speed, will move first before Dahlia when they both have the exact same speed after the rally. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. So this is another one of the tests that I did in my free time. So that's all. That's my speculation here. So again, if you think that you need a controller in your lineup, like you are lacking in terms of controller department in your lineups, then it's good to have the Fatum sisters. But if you think that you have enough controller in your lineup and you don't really care that much about Infinite Tower or Temporal Tower, then you can go ahead and save your SSM for when Intisar is going to come out. Because I bet Intisar is going to be a really strong Esper and definitely going to shoot my lineup, my personal lineup very well, because my lineup is a poison controller team. So yeah, I do already have a lot of controller, but I don't mind having the Fatum sisters. So right now I already saved enough golden records and SSM to pull 2 PTs in the golden record and also 1 straight PT for the SSM. So I might try to pull the Fatum sisters a little bit, like probably 20 SSM spin maybe. Like 20 means like 2 times 10 spins, okay, not 20 times 10 spin. I'm not that rich. So I might be trying to get the Fatum sisters, but if I don't get her, then that's not the end of the day for me. So he is also going to be really strong in the PvP later on. You guys will see later once the Fatum sisters come out. Like a lot of players are going to use her in the PvP because she can control the whole enemy team single-handedly. And this is going to be a really strong Esper in the PvP, just like how Abigail is performing right now. So yeah, immunity and the like above Mui is going to be much more important by now because of the appearance of the Fatum sisters. And later on, when Intisar come out, my prediction is going to be debuffs. So again, immunity and the like above Mui is going to be very important. So start saving up now, start building your immunity, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Good night. Bye bye.